Have you ever walked into a room and forgotten why you were there? Or picked up your phone, only to realize you can't remember what you wanted to do? Maybe you wake up after a full night's sleep, but still feel exhausted. Your mind feels slow. Conversations take more effort. Names don't come as quickly, and even simple tasks seem harder than they used to. If you're over 50 and you've been wondering, why am I always tired and foggy? You're not alone. Many adults in their 50s, 60s, and beyond experience these changes. And perhaps the most frustrating part is that nobody talks about them. You start asking yourself difficult questions. Is this just aging? Am I developing dementia? Why can't I focus like I used to? The good news is that feeling tired, foggy, and unfocused doesn't automatically mean something serious is happening. In fact, there are several surprisingly common reasons why your brain and body may be sending these signals, and many of them are things you can understand, address, and improve. Today, we're going to explore why so many adults over 50 feel this way, and what your body may be trying to tell you. Many people assume that aging simply means having less energy, but that's not entirely true. Your body still produces energy. The problem is that your brain becomes less forgiving when recovery is incomplete. When you were younger, you could get away with poor sleep, stress, and busy schedules. Your brain bounced back quickly. After 50, things change. Your brain becomes more sensitive to lack of sleep and chronic stress. Even if you're spending 7 or 8 hours in bed, your sleep quality may not be as deep as it once was. You might wake up several times during the night without realizing it. And poor sleep doesn't just make you tired, it affects memory, focus, decision-making, mood, and mental clarity. This is why many adults say, "I'm exhausted all day, but I can't understand why." Sometimes the problem isn't the amount of sleep, it's the quality of that sleep. Conditions like sleep apnea become more common after 50 and often go unnoticed. People may snore, wake frequently, or stop breathing briefly during sleep without realizing it. As a result, the brain never gets the full recovery it needs, and over time, that lack of restoration can show up as brain fog and constant fatigue. Many people imagine that life becomes calmer after 50, but for many adults the opposite happens. You're caring for aging parents, helping adult children, managing finances, adjusting to retirement, dealing with health concerns, losing loved ones, and carrying decades of responsibilities. Your body doesn't always distinguish emotional stress from physical danger. Stress hormones remain elevated, and chronic stress affects the brain. Researchers have found that prolonged stress can interfere with memory, concentration, and emotional balance. You may find yourself rereading the same paragraph multiple times, walking into a room and forgetting your purpose, feeling mentally overwhelmed by tasks that once felt simple. Not because you're lazy, not because you're losing intelligence, but because your brain has been carrying a heavy load for years. Mental exhaustion is real, and it often disguises itself as forgetfulness. One hidden reason many adults feel tired and unfocused has nothing to do with age. It has to do with blood sugar. Your brain consumes a tremendous amount of energy, and it depends on stable fuel. But after 50, the body becomes less efficient at handling blood sugar changes. Large meals, sugary snacks, refined carbohydrates, skipping meals, all of these can create rapid rises and crashes in blood sugar. And when blood sugar drops suddenly, the brain feels it. You may experience midday fatigue, difficulty concentrating, mental sluggishness, cravings, irritability, and that familiar feeling of brain fog. Many people blame aging when the real issue is unstable energy. Simple changes like eating more protein, fiber, and balanced meals can help provide steadier fuel for the brain. Because your brain performs best when energy remains stable, not when it swings dramatically throughout the day. As we age, something interesting happens. Our sense of thirst becomes weaker. In other words, your body may need water long before you actually feel thirsty. and even mild dehydration can affect the brain. Studies show that dehydration can contribute to fatigue, poor concentration, headaches, confusion, and slower thinking. Many adults over 50 simply don't drink enough water during the day. Coffee, tea, medication schedules, busy routines, all make it easy to forget. And because dehydration develops gradually, people often don't recognize it. They simply think, I guess I'm getting older. But sometimes the brain is just asking for more hydration. Something so simple can have a surprisingly large effect on how alert and focused you feel. Brain fog isn't always about stress or sleep. Sometimes it's about nutrients. Vitamin B12 deficiency becomes more common with age because the body absorbs it less efficiently. Low B12 levels can contribute to memory problems, fatigue, weakness, difficulty concentrating, and mental confusion. Vitamin D deficiency is also widespread among older adults. Low vitamin D has been associated with fatigue, mood changes, and decreased cognitive function. Iron deficiency and thyroid problems can create similar symptoms. The challenge is that these issues often develop slowly. You don't wake up one day feeling dramatically different. Instead, your energy gradually declines. Your focus becomes less sharp, and because the changes happen so slowly, they may be mistaken for normal aging. This is one reason routine medical checkups and blood tests become increasingly important after 50, because sometimes the body is signaling a correctable problem. Many people know exercise helps the heart, but fewer people realize how important movement is for the brain. Physical activity improves circulation, and your brain depends on healthy blood flow. When blood flow decreases, oxygen delivery decreases too, and the brain may respond with fatigue and slower thinking. Unfortunately, modern life encourages sitting, television, computers, phones, long hours indoors. It's possible to spend most of the day barely moving, and over time, inactivity can contribute to low energy, brain fog, poor mood, and reduced mental sharpness. The good news? You don't need intense workouts. Walking, gardening, light stretching, swimming, even regular movement throughout the day can support brain health. Sometimes the brain doesn't need more stimulation. It needs more circulation. Another overlooked cause of fatigue and brain fog is medication. Many adults over 50 take several prescriptions, and while medications are important, some can affect energy and mental clarity. Sleep medications, antihistamines, certain blood pressure medications, anxiety medications, pain medications, and even some over-the-counter products may contribute to drowsiness or concentration problems. Sometimes people assume aging is responsible when side effects are actually involved. This doesn't mean you should stop medications on your own, but it does mean it's worth discussing concerns with your doctor or pharmacist, because occasionally, small adjustments can make a big difference. Not all exhaustion comes from the body. Some comes from the heart. Life after 50 brings many changes. Retirement, children moving away, loss of friends, loss of spouses, smaller social circles, and sometimes a quiet feeling of disconnection. Loneliness affects more than emotions. Research shows it can influence memory, mood, sleep, and overall health. Humans are social beings. We need purpose, connection, meaning, and when those things are missing, the brain often responds with fatigue and low motivation. Sometimes what feels like physical exhaustion is actually emotional exhaustion, and healing doesn't always come from medicine. Sometimes it comes from conversations, friendships, community, volunteering, family, faith, or rediscovering activities that bring joy and purpose. This may be the most important message of all. Too many adults accept fatigue and brain fog as inevitable. They tell themselves, I'm getting older. I guess this is normal. But normal aging and unhealthy aging are not the same thing. Yes, some slowing is expected, but constant exhaustion, severe forgetfulness, major personality changes, difficulty managing daily tasks, or sudden confusion should never be ignored. These symptoms deserve attention. Because the earlier problems are identified, the better the chances of improving them. Many causes of brain fog are treatable, and many people feel significantly better once underlying issues are addressed. so don't dismiss what your body is trying to tell you. Listen to it, pay attention, and give yourself permission to seek answers. If you've been feeling tired, foggy, or unfocused lately, you're far from alone. And most importantly, you're not imagining it. These experiences are incredibly common after 50, but they are not always signs of dementia. And they are not always something you simply have to live with. Your body may be asking for better sleep, more movement, improved nutrition, better hydration, stress relief, social connection, or a conversation with your healthcare provider. Small changes can make a remarkable difference. Because growing older doesn't mean giving up mental clarity. It doesn't mean accepting exhaustion as your new normal. And it certainly doesn't mean losing hope. Your brain is still capable of learning, healing, and adapting. Sometimes it simply needs the right support. If today's video was helpful, subscribe to Vitality Path 50+, and tell us in the comments, have you been experiencing brain fog, fatigue, or trouble focusing lately? And what changes have helped you feel more like yourself again? Because no one should have to navigate healthy aging alone. And together, we can continue building a clearer, stronger, and healthier future one day at a time.
Before we conclude, a quick reminder. The information shared in this video is for educational and informational purposes only. It is not intended as a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. Always seek the advice of your physician or other qualified health provider with any questions you may have regarding a medical condition. Never disregard professional medical advice or delay in seeking it because of something you have heard on this channel. Your health is your most valuable asset. Treat it with the professional care it deserves.